Open mic readers, and we're going to have the first of our featured poets this afternoon. He has a long and checkered history with founding member of Apples and Snakes. He was also one of the organisers of Tongue Circus, Worthless Words, Ragged Trousers Cabaret. He's now the co-organiser of Dodo Modern Poets, and he's also videoing this afternoon's show, so you'll be able to watch this all over again in a few days' time. As I say, he's also an artist, and if you're in London in the next couple of weeks, Peter's exhibiting in the Free Painters and Sculptors show at the a London Ultra exhibition at Barge House Gallery, which is in the Oxo Tower Wharf, and his contribution is going to be Amoebic Thoughts, or Autumnal Inferno, opposite a Scotch egg ramp and blue splash. So if you're curious about what that could be, between the 6th and 6th to the 9th of December at the Oxo Tower Wharf Gallery. So there you are. So, Mr. P.R.Murry.
Thank you. None of those things will be appearing in my first half. It's a bit of a miscellany though, of various things, including menswear. But anyway, the first one is a seasonal poem entitled Fat Balls. Clocks go back today, November's nearly here, the bones of the street trees start to show, there's a cruel, sharp, cold edge in the air, so I sit on my suburban front doorstep, handling my fat balls. But the neighbours don't find the law, for I am not a weatherproofed pervert, but the respectable owner of half a house who is unpacking and storing lumps of suet to feed his garden birds through the winter that now begins. But these birds aren't really mine, they're not even my feathered friends. I pay them with food hung from garden trees to brighten the air above a small bramble-infested Eden. And my next poem is about something that is being inflicted on disabled people in the course of the demolition of the welfare state, and that is the personal independence interview. A personal independence payment interview, that's what it's called. A nice nurse knocked on my front door, so I showed her up the stairs to my first floor flat. I asked her to observe the difficulty that I have in ascending to my abode, for it is an overweight and arthritic old man who writes this ode and coughs as he does so, remembering 40 years of heavy smoking plus decades more of breathing polluted city air. So I pant up the steps and sit wheezing in my chair as the nice nurse questions me. She asks if I can wipe my own arse, how frequently I pee, and how I catch the bus or train, and how many pills I take, and when I walk with my walking stick, what progress do I make? At the end of the interview, she explains that in a month or so, a verdict on my payment will be made. It could be cut, it could be raised, it could even be doubled. Then she holds up a bucket and says, just kick this now, save the government some money and trouble. And Bob will be bringing us some fresh air from Cornwall, but those of us in London know that the air down here is filthy, or up here, or round here, or wherever it is. And this is a poem about why that is. It's called London Smogs Old and New. Okay. And it goes like this. Once a river ran like a cord of grey churning muscle through a valley and a city, current rolling, pulsing, twisting, muddy waters to the sea and back again at the same time, running with and against the tide. Like the city, it never ceased. On cold winter nights it sweated mist, but if the night was still and the mist could not rise, but if the night was still, the mist could not rise. Every house in the city burnt a coal fire. Nearly every adult who lived there smoked. And then there was a time when all the cars and buses and lorries smoked too. Smog was born, and the mist and smog embraced each other and lay down like satisfied lovers in a sleeping yellow embrace above the city, smothering the breath and life in a poisonous blanket. So every still night when the smog laid down, hundreds died beneath. Give us clean air, the people cried. Stop the coal fires, clean the car exhaust. Stop smoking, cut carbon monoxide. And then the old smog, made illegal, died, and fewer people did. But death was just resting for a decade or two. Then it smiled and said, I'll find a way to return and choke the life from your lungs and heads. I'll make a finer blanket now than the smog of old, and when the sun is bright and the air is still, I'll weave a cloth of car fumes and light and lay it over the city, so that they'll gasp for breath and cough in vain again and again, just like they did when my smog was thick. My clear killing veil will hang invisible above the city, so they'll still die for me as the river rolls on and passes the poisoned people by. Okay, another form of pollution now, which is maybe mental pollution, maybe financial pollution, but this pollution, I'll describe it anyway. This is it. The people who wish to make you buy are scabless, clean and smiling, without discharges, problems or pimples. They sell you frozen slices from their nice lives. They do things for their nice husbands. They provide things for their nice wives. And by some unseen process reproduce perfect model children who smilingly consume bowls of cereal and sometimes have plasters caringly stuck on them. The parents travel every evening on deserted roads in new cars across the High Sierra to dinner parties where character actors recommend brands of sherry to them. They can go on holiday whenever they want. They use soft toilet paper, but they never shit. And the worst thing that can ever happen to them is a headache, which pills instantly cure. I wish my life could be like theirs, but no matter how many things I buy, I've still got discharges, problems, pimples and an egg stain on my shirt, and I always keep falling over whenever I try to run down a beach in slow motion. The things I buy get tarnished by my life. Perhaps it's because I pay for them. The people in the adverts never do. And I'll finish off with a few items of menswear. I'm going to concentrate on the bottom half of the body this time. And I'll start with a sock. And this is Adam Smith's sock problem. Sock, 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 emergency, there are no socks upon my feet, there are no socks that I can see. Sock, sock, socks, immediately. Woke up in the morning, birds are singing in the tree, but I see toes in front of me, so I seek socks with great urgency. Sock, 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 emergency. There are no socks upon my feet, there are no socks that I can see. Sock, sock, socks, immediately. My socks are burning dirty or my socks are soaking wet, but I've got to wear them or go barefoot. I've got to mark absence of hosiery. It's a sock, 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 emergency. There are no socks upon my feet. There are no socks that I can see. Sock, sock, socks, immediately. But am I going to sit here till my feet grow fur? No, I'm going to get up, get going, be a sock entrepreneur. Sock, 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 emergency. There are no socks upon my feet. There are no socks that I can see. So I'm going to start a sock factory. I'm going to raise some capital, going to go it alone, get them third world kids knitting in a free trade zone. Sock, 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 emergency. There are no socks upon my feet. There are no socks that I can see. Make more socks immediately. Now I've started moving, I ain't going to stop like a shark in the water. I keep swimming or I drop. I won't let anyone else make socks. Yes, it's a sock, sock, sock emergency. You've all got to buy your socks from me. I've wiped out competition, so now you see I'm a sock, sock, sock monopoly. Outside the sock there is the shoes, often underrated, sometimes understated, and sometimes squished into dog poo. The interface of foot and planet is the domain of the shoe, or more truly, that's the place of all footwear. It could be a boot, or sandal, or clog located down there. And although I've no wish to be rude, I do have to tell you that feet can be nude, exposed to the elements, to sharp thorns and to cruel broken glass, or the bite and sting of beasts who lurk in the grass. But footwear can show status or betray poverty, be high-heeled or low-heeled, be hidden or be seen, be dreamt about by fetishists or marched in by fascists. But if you study history, you'll see that footwear's destiny is not to shield feet, nor ornately display them, nor to keep them camouflaged, but to break the machine like hurled workers' clogs. The true purpose of a shoe is sabotage. And lastly, finally, the final one is trousers. Okay, yep, there it is, it's all here. I want telepathic and telekinetic trousers now. I want truths that can think. I want strides that don't shrink, away from the intellectual effort of obeying my unspoken commands, and that climb up my legs smoothly and coolly, without any word from my mouth or tug from my hands. I want leg wear that's always there when I want it and never there when I don't. As a youth, I thought of trousers in terms of on and off, but age and arthritis have changed the nature of the leg-cladding game. Getting dressed and undressed is now a ruthless 15-round wrestling match, as I curse and swear and sometimes tear at those obstinate tubes of cloth. My feet get stuck inside them, my knees go crick and crack as I clutch at the wall in case I fall like a tortoise onto my back. But tortoises don't wear trousers, they have more sense than aging old apes. They go around nude as perhaps I should, or wear a skirt or a kilt or a cape, instead of fighting my trousers in a daily attritional war, which I can't win and neither can they, till we both exist no more. I'll be cremated in my trousers, together flesh, bone and cloth will burn until trousers and I can both rest in peace in a tasteful funerary urn.
Thank you, Mr. P.R.Murry. P.R.Murry will be back in the second half. Just to say, he's got a collection on sale, which I think is it £5, Pete?
Yeah, or less if you ask nicely.
Okay, well, you can sort that out with the great artist himself.
Or any offer accepted, actually.
It's called Son of the Glowing Night Soil of the Concealed Emu. So there you are.